Planet Earth. That shiny blue marble that has fascinated humanity since they first began to walk across its surface. And why shouldn't it fascinate us? In addition to being our home and the place where life as we know it originated, it remains the only planet we know of where life thrives. And over the course of the past few centuries, we have learned much about Earth, which has only deepened our fascination with it. But how much does the average person really know about the planet Earth? You've lived on planet Earth all of your life, but how much do you really know about the ground underneath your feet? You probably have lots of interesting facts rattling around in your brain, but here are 10 more interesting facts about Earth that you may, or may not know. 1. 70% of the Earth's surface is covered in water. When astronauts first went into the space, they looked back at the Earth with human eyes for the first time. Based on their observations, the Earth acquired the nickname the Blue Planet. And it's no surprise, seeing as how 70% of our planet is covered with oceans. The remaining 30% is the solid crust that is located above sea level, hence why it is called the continental crust. 2. The Earth's atmosphere extends to a distance of 10,000 kilometers. Earth's atmosphere is thickest within the first 50 kilometers from the surface or so, but it actually reaches out to about 10,000 kilometers into space. It is made up of 5 main layers: the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, and the exosphere. As a rule, air pressure and density decrease the higher one goes into the atmosphere and the farther one is from the surface. The bulk of the Earth's atmosphere is down near the Earth itself. In fact, 75% of the Earth's atmosphere is contained within the first 11 kilometers above the planet's surface. However, the outermost layer, the exosphere, is the largest, extending from the exobase, located at the top of the thermosphere at an altitude of about 700 kilometers above sea level, to about 10,000 kilometers, 6,200 miles. The exosphere merges with the emptiness of outer space, where there is no atmosphere. The exosphere is mainly composed of extremely low densities of hydrogen, helium and several heavier molecules, including nitrogen, oxygen and carbon dioxide. The atoms and molecules are so far apart that the exosphere no longer behaves like a gas, and the particles constantly escape into space. These free-moving particles follow ballistic trajectories and may migrate in and out of the magnetosphere or with the solar wind. 3. Earth doesn't take 24 hours to rotate on its axis. It actually takes 23 hours, 56 minutes and 4 seconds for the Earth to rotate once completely on its axis, which astronomers refer to as a sidereal day. Now wait a second, doesn't that mean that a day is 4 minutes shorter than we think it is? You'd think that this time would add up, day by day, and within a few months, day would be night, and night would be day. But remember that the Earth orbits around the Sun. Every day, the Sun moves compared to the background stars by about 1 degree, about the size of the Moon in the sky. And so, if you add up that little motion from the Sun that we see because the Earth is orbiting around it, as well as the rotation on its axis, you get a total of 24 hours. This is what is known as a solar day, which, contrary to a sidereal day, is the amount of time it takes the Sun to return to the same place in the sky. Knowing the difference between the two is to know the difference between how long it takes the stars to show up in the same spot in the sky, and the it takes for the Sun to rise and set once. 4. A year on Earth isn't 365 days. It's actually 365.2564 days. It's this extra 0.2564 days that creates the need for a leap year once every 4 years. That's why we tack on an extra day in February every 4 years: 2004, 2008, 2012, etc. The exceptions to this rule is if the year in question is divisible by 100, 1900, 2100, etc., unless it divisible by 400, 1600, 2000, etc. 5. Earth has 1 moon and 2 co-orbital satellites. As you're probably aware, Earth has 1 moon, aka the Moon. Plenty is known about this body and we have written many articles about it, so we won't go into much detail there. But did you know there are 2 additional asteroids locked into a co-orbital orbits with Earth? They're called 3753 Crunya and 2002 AA29, which are part of a larger population of asteroids known as near-Earth objects, NEOs. The asteroid known as 3753 Crunya measures 5 kilometers across, and is sometimes called Earth's second moon. It doesn't actually orbit the Earth, but has a synchronized orbit with our home planet. It also has an orbit that makes it look like it's following the Earth in orbit, but it's actually following its own, distinct path around the Sun. Meanwhile, 2002 AA29 is only 60 meters across and makes a horseshoe orbit around the Earth that brings it close to the planet every 95 years. In about 600 years, it will appear to circle Earth in a quasi-satellite orbit. Scientists have suggested that it might make a good target for a space exploration mission.